You'll never guess what I just did. I was moving something out on the front porch, and I think I breathed in a bunch of dead bugs, so now I'm going to be coughing.
Oh, that is so gross. Thank you for sharing your gross little story.
You're welcome. I know you did something really beautiful for our home today, though. I want to mention that.
Oh, what is that?
Well, you did something with flowers.
Oh, yes, I did.
And it kind of goes with today's show theme.
I brought home a bouquet of peonies for our kitchen counter.
And you know what? They're quite beautiful, and I'm so thankful you did that.
Oh, I'm glad
Flowers
you liked
make
it.
a house just more warm and lovely.
They really do.
Hi, everyone, and here we are celebrating what people love to do creatively by giving them a voice. I'm Rod Jones.
And I'm Angie Jones. Welcome to the Thought Row podcast. We invite you to subscribe wherever you listen, and we are available virtually anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yes, and you know what? Share with your friends. Tell your friends about this podcast. Well, Angie, what are we going to discuss today?
Well, today we're going to be speaking with Ruth Davis, an abstract floral artist.
Well, Ruth Davis is from the UK, and she was gracious enough to reach out to Angie and I. So we had a chat with her.
Yeah.
And after listening to her and talking to her, we really felt people would enjoy her perspective on art. We need to start with your quote.
Okay, so our quote this week is, "Where flowers bloom, so does hope." And this quote is by Lady Bird Johnson.
I really like that quote. And maybe do you have another one to follow up with that by her?
I do. And I couldn't decide, so I wanted to put both of them in. So I'm glad you asked me about it. Her quote is, "Ugliness is so grim. A little beauty, something that is lovely, I think can help create harmony, which will lessen tensions."
Oh, I like that one especially.
Yeah.
I'm glad you picked that second one too.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like it.
You know what, though? Probably most people don't even know who Lady Bird Johnson was. I do. I remember who she was.
You know, seeing how we're going to be talking a lot about flowers in this podcast, I'll share a little bit about Lady Bird Johnson.
Yeah, tell us more about her. I'd like to know more.
Okay.
I'd like to know what you discovered.
Okay, I'm going to, because I was kind of small when she was in office, her husband was. But here's a little bio on her that I picked up from the PBS website. And it says, "If you were ever wondering who started the initiative to beautify the nation's highways and parks, it was Lady Bird Johnson. She was the first lady during the late 60s when her husband, Lyndon Baines Johnson, was president of the United States. She believed that beauty can improve the mental health of a society and was determined to make the United States a more beautiful place. Throughout her time in the White House, she fought to make American cities more beautiful by planting flowers or adding park benches and by removing billboards and junkyards from the nation's highways."
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad she did. In fact, you and I had an opportunity to experience something that she created. It was very special to us.
What's that?
Well, when you and I actually lived in Imperial Beach in San Diego, and where we lived was the most southwestern tip of the United States, believe it or not. And there was a beautiful estuary that she developed. And you and I used to walked along the ocean.
We
down
did.
There.
It was so beautiful, and I didn't really realize that she had done that. That's interesting.
She built that. I photographed there quite a bit, and there was a sign when you came into that end of the park
that said that.
Commemorating it. Is that the right way to say
commemorating her.
Her achievement
contribution.
there.
Yeah,
Lots of people used to go to that park, and what was really interesting, it literally was the most southwestern tip of the entire United States.
It really was. But what was neat about it is the condo that we had lived in actually faced the ocean on one side. So literally the ocean would almost come up to the condo porch. That's it. And what was neat is at nighttime, sometimes you would see storms out in the distance in the ocean, and you'd actually see the thunderbolts coming down into the ocean. And it was very dramatic.
That's quite the light show.
It was. But now it's going to be your turn, Rod. are you ready for Rod's motivational moments?
I thought you would have forgot about it.
No, of course not.
Well, I actually have one ready to go.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
Hurry, hurry, and hurry. Here we go. I'm going to try it again. It must be all the bugs in my mouth.
It must be.
Hurry here and hurry there. Hurry, hurry, everywhere. And no, this is not from an Alice in
Wonderland
song.
movie, yeah.
Song. To me, it seems like we spend so much time hurrying to do things that we forget to live.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. We live in such a fast-paced society these days, don't you think?
I think so. And even though, people haven't been able to go out as much, they spend more time on their computers and chatting with people visually on the various programs that are very popular for doing that. That is starting to become kind of wearing on people.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. Well, we're going to be talking about flowers today in our topic. And I think that flowers are probably the most cherished gift any person can receive.
Yes, and woe is the husband that never brings his wife flowers.
Well, that's kind of sad because sometimes you bring your husband flowers too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They do encourage that. And there's many men out there that like floral arrangements. I certainly like them. Mm-hmm. But I think for a man, when you bring home a vase of flowers or even a bouquet or even one flower that you picked in the front garden as you walked in the house and you present it to your wife or your girlfriend or even your daughter, whatever, watching the expression they have on their face when they receive that flower, for me, it's always been a great joy. And I've really enjoyed it when I've had the opportunity, although there haven't been too many this last year, to give you a vase full of flowers.
I love receiving flowers from you, and I love just flowers in general. You know that when we go for a walk, I have to smell all the roses as we're walking. Yeah. And I can't help it. They're just beautiful.
Yeah, we're lucky in our neighborhood. A lot of people, we live in the mountains, but they have roses in their front yards, and we're kind of lucky to have all these flowers bloom this time of year or during spring.
Exactly.
But I want to say throughout the history of art, flowers have been incorporated into many of the world's greatest paintings. Mm-hmm. Some of them have just been still lifes of floral arrangements. And what I really personally like is others have been incorporated in the overall theme of a painting. Mm-hmm. And speaking of flowers in a vase, who doesn't recognize a vase of yellow sunflowers?
Well, you must be referring to Vincent van Gogh, the sunflowers. That's such a beautiful, bright painting that it just captures your attention and your breath. And then my other favorite painting is the lavender irises that he painted.
Those are both iconic paintings.
They really are.
And it's kind of interesting that when you go to the Van Gogh Museum, the coasters and T-shirts and everything, that was the one painting that they put on all that stuff.
That's true. I think I bought those coasters.
I think you actually did.
I did.
I remember putting a soft drink or something down on those coasters.
We have those.
I don't think we still have them, though.
No, we do.
Do we?
Yes, we do.
Well, that's good to know that we.
They're durable too. Yeah, so there you go.
We're supporting Van Gogh's sunflower painting.
Right.
You know what I like? I've always liked paintings where people are gathering flowers, like the ones created by what's his name? Albert Lynch. Those paintings of his. I hope people Google him and take a look at it because he's got these beautiful paintings of women going out and picking up bunches of flowers and holding them underneath their arms. Mm-hmm. The colors, the pastel use of paint is just absolutely stunning.
Yeah. And especially the ones where it looks like it's summertime and they're picking flowers and it looks so summery and their outfits are, of that time. So very beautiful. But, it's summertime here. And my favorite flower to look at in the forest are the wild irises. It's such a surprise when you're walking through a forest and you see just some of those popping up here and there.
I remember those, and I remember thinking that when I was a child or a kid, and I'd see those pop up everywhere, I'd go, "Oh man, it's springtime and it's the end of school."
Yay!
It's the flower that ends school for me.
Yeah, that was always a good time for you. Yeah. I know. So, okay, I think we're going to be ready to.
Well, I want to talk about springtime.
Oh, I'm sorry.
springtime, summer, and fall, the nature around us has much to offer when it comes to beautiful colors.
You know, you're so right. And in the mountains, I think the fall leaves and the fall colors are so beautiful.
It's probably the most vivid time of year up here.
It really is. Okay, so are we ready for our guest?
I have nothing else to say, and I'm very, very excited to hear what our guest has to say.
Okay, our guest is Ruth Davis today. Stay tuned.
Ruth, welcome to the Thought Row podcast. You know, we have many listeners, and a lot of them are creative people who love nature and especially flowers.
Yes. Hi, Ruth. So good to have you with us today. And we are looking forward to hearing how you became an abstract floral artist.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me today. It's really great to be here.
Oh, good.
Well, we're glad to have you here.
We are glad to have you. But, you know, before we get started, I'm going to ask you a question we've been asking all of our guests, which is, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
Breakfast? I guess you guys had it a lot sooner than me, didn't you? I was just thinking, I'm almost about to have dinner. I had a croissant and a coffee.
That sounds yummy. Croissants are always good.
Yeah, they're my favorite.
Did you put anything on it? Like more butter?
I do actually, yeah, and jam. Yeah, I proper pig out with it.
That sounds delicious.
I
agree. A good breakfast. Good job.
Yeah. Thanks.
Well, you know, Ruth, artists have been painting nature and still lifes of floral arrangements for centuries. And you've created what looks to us like a very unique style. Tell us what started you on that path of painting flowers.
Mm-hmm.
So I started painting professionally just after my grandparents passed away. It was almost 3 years actually now.
Mm.
And yeah, they had the most amazing garden. So I have just wanted to do something for them and just thought, oh, I should paint because they always encouraged me. And yeah, it's kind of just gone from that. And it really helped me through them both passing as well. So that was really good because when I was younger, I think I was like 6 or 5, my dad actually passed away as well.
Oh, no.
So so they actually had like a really, really strong like role in my life. Not saying it was strong like anyone else's, but yeah, they definitely had that really, really strong connection to them. So yeah, it was really hard when they passed and I just knew I had to do something to like keep them alive and everything like that. So yeah, it does mean loads and loads to me to paint all these flowers for them.
I think that's, you know, that's really special though.
It is. And I'm so sorry to hear about your grandparents and your dad as well.
Thank you.
I guess, you know, you're so fortunate to have such loving and creative grandparents that were instrumental in inspiring you. How old were you when they first realized that you could had the potential of being a painter?
Well, they probably told me from like when I could do my first finger painting or something. Like they were always giving me pencils, pens, whatever. In their kitchen, they had a noteboard and they had pictures that I'd done from when I was like 3 or something, like still up there. So it was like so strange. Like when I would go around there, I'd be like, "You're not going to take that down yet?" But
that's so sweet.
Yeah, they were honestly just so supportive of anything. They had tissue boxes as well, and I used to just doodle on them, really randomly. And they would be like, "Oh, you could sell this. This would be amazing." And I'd be like, "I've just done some shapes on a tissue box." It was like really strange, but yeah, just literally anything I did, they loved it and supported it.
That sounds so cool because they were your muses, really. Grandparents were the muses instead of something else that you always see in a movie. You never see the grandparents doing that.
I think the thing we always appreciate about our grandparents is they're not our parents. You know, parents have to be a little, they're nice to you. Our parents seem to be a little bit more stern, you know, because they're responsible for your well-being. Yeah. But grandparents can kind of, your grandparents must have been extremely proud of you, Ruth. I suspect they very much so. Wasn't your grandfather an artist?
Yes, he was. So he went to art school in Canada, which was amazing for him, like with all of the like colors and just everything. And then he met my nan when he was traveling because she was a hotel receptionist. So they met through that, and they just kept writing letters to each other, and then they got married. So it was like a nice kind
romantic.
of love story as well. Yeah,
what
very
a love
much.
story,
Yeah.
totally.
They obviously cared for each other very much, and they obviously cared for you a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were so in love. Like, even you could just tell, like, every day. It was so funny.
Oh.
They would always like bicker at each other, but like, you know, when people bicker, and it's really lovely to kind of watch because it's funny and you can just tell that they're enjoying it and just enjoying kind of being with each other and everything. It was really great to watch. And I guess even that is kind of like aspiring to have something like that as well in the future.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and I never bicker.
Oh, right. Oh, right.
I like the word, though. I love the word.
Bicker.
I like bicker.
That describes it pretty well,
Yeah,
I think.
it does.
Yeah.
I think that's very endearing. I thank you for sharing that. That was a very endearing thing to say about your grandparents. They seem to be so instrumental in you developing the path you took as an artist. The one thing I want to say is sometimes people have a hard time thinking of flowers as being a subject for abstract art, but you're leaning that way. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, honestly, I'm not that great at drawing a still life kind of.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can't, I don't have that skill, but I love the shapes and the colors and just all flowers. I don't care what kind they are or what color, whatever. They always are just so lovely to look at. And I think abstract, a lot of people kind of have like where they're a bit like, oh, that's just abstract. It's just a bit of like a few blobs and a bit of colors like on a page or something. But it's actually so much more than that. And I think it's so nice as well because you can look at something that's more abstract and so many other people can have like different views and different feelings when they see it, rather than when you just do like a still life and it's just like, it's a flower sort of thing. That's
you
true.
know, there's such a thing as abstract landscapes, and that's a little bit what you're doing. But the other part of this is, I always say, rather than sit there and try to paint a floral arrangement, and there's some beautiful ones, we've all seen them in major museums.
Yeah.
But you could do just as well with a camera.
During those times when they did those, though, they didn't have a camera.
That's true.
So that's why I think it was really popular.
Yeah, and it looked beautiful in the entranceway of your Victorian home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen some stunning pictures.
And I can appreciate the fact that, I mean, if you're going to go to that kind of detail, basically you're just replicating what nature has already done. And if you're a creative person and an artist like you are, you're going to put your own signature into the paint and into the colors you use. So I think that's what makes your work pretty special.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I am obsessed with the color pink as well and gold. As soon as I started painting, I just decided I loved gold. So all my paintings, well, not all of them, but pretty much all of them will have either like pink or gold.
Those are two very magical colors. I think that when people view them, I don't think anybody feels sad at that point. They get happy instantly.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want from my paintings, because obviously it's for my nan and granddad and they used to make people so happy. So I'm very much like, I paint beautiful stuff, make people happy. They made me happy. It makes me happy.
Oh, good for you.
It's all about that.
See that.
Yeah.
So we all know nature is bountiful by itself, and we all know that flowers are readily available, especially during the spring and summer. Where do you find your flowers to use as subjects?
I have like 1,000 pictures on my phone of my nan and granddad's garden. And they had the most beautiful rose arch that I've ever seen. I actually moved into my house it's been a year now. Yeah. So a year ago. And the first thing I did in my garden was put an arch and have planted roses to kind of try get something as nice as that. And so, that, and then just my own flowers now in my garden, which I'm very proud of as well.
Oh,
and
nice.
just even if I go to shops and I see loads of nice flowers, I just like take a picture and I'm like, there we go. So it's kind of anywhere really, walks, any wildflowers. We've had loads of poppies here recently. I don't know if you guys have had poppies.
Oh, yes.
We get them in the springtime here. We get the California poppies, and they are
lovely.
magnificent. And I'm sure the ones in England are equally as beautiful. So very cool.
Yeah, the sides of the mountains are flame. They kind of
They get
refer to
orange,
the flame with the orange poppies.
Yeah.
And they grow along highways here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the freeways, they actually plant them to make the freeway look a little more pretty when you're driving by.
That's amazing, though.
Yeah. I got a kind of an interesting question for you, maybe. Do you ever talk to your subject, to your flowers?
Actually, I did the other day because even though it's summer, we had like 2 really nice hot weeks. I got a little bit of a tan. It was fantastic. And then now it's just torrential rain.
Oh.
So I did go out to my flowers and I did apologize to them. And I was like, I'm really sorry about the rain.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, I mean, they are living things, you know. I mean, they are very much living, and you can, and as scientists have told us, they have emotions. They express their emotions in different ways. And I think that you chose that subject, maybe encouraged heavily by your grandparents, but you are communicating with them, even if you're just painting them.
Yes. Yeah. I also have a rose bush. It's a memorial rose bush for my nan and granddad as well. So I go there quite as often as I can. And I sit there and kind of like talk to my nan and granddad, kind of, even if it's just like a nice bush for them. So that's really nice as well.
Oh, yeah.
What a great idea.
Thank you for sharing that.
So cute. Yeah.
Everyone loves roses, and roses are probably the most gifted flower. I mean, everybody sends roses. What is your favorite to paint? Do you have a favorite rose?
I just like all of the roses. I do because mainly because of the rose arch from their garden. I've just always been obsessed with roses from that. So I think it was like a year ago that for the first year I was started to paint, I was trying to do cherry blossom and I could just never do it any justice. And then it wasn't until last year I did a really big, it was 1 meter by 1 meter piece on canvas. And it was just silver background, loads of delicate cherry blossom all over it. And it was honestly one of the best things I've ever done. And I love it so much. So yeah, probably roses and now cherry blossom. I just do all the time because I just think it's amazing.
I think we saw that on your Instagram.
I think so too.
Yes.
I remember that.
It is really beautiful.
And the pink.
Yeah, it was.
It's a fun pink too. Pink is kind of a tricky color because pink wants to look like white.
It does.
Especially when it's reproduced. But you seem to have captured it pretty well.
It does.
Yeah, I use a hot pink a lot of the time as kind of like the base of it. And then I can layer it up with the sort of lighter colours and a little bit of gold as well. Yeah, so that's really great and helps.
That gives it a lot of depth too. So it's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, those colors are creative.
Yeah.
Is there any gold in it?
Yes. Yeah. So there's normally a couple of gold specks and stuff just because when the sunlight goes on it as well, it just bounces off it and it just gives it like a whole nother dimension.
So pretty.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's beautiful.
Is your studio filled with the fragrance of flowers, and does that somehow impact your creativity?
Well, so because I have got the garden now, I have actually started to paint quite a lot in the garden. So that's kind of also like another studio for me now.
Oh, yes.
So it is amazing to be surrounded by flowers. Definitely helps because you just get to see all the different colours in whatever kind of flower you're doing, or draw from like other flowers that are surrounding it as well to like bring into the piece. So yeah, like I have this rose at the moment, and so when it first came out, it was a really, really pale pink, and then where the sun kind of bleached it, it went white. But then I was looking at it today, and now it has loads of like dark pink specks on it.
Oh, how pretty.
So it's kind of had like 3 stages of different color and life already as well. So it's amazing.
I get the feeling you're going to incorporate that in a painting because that sounds so pretty.
Yes. Yeah, I do. Normally on the top of all my paintings, I do like a kind of Jackson Pollock flick on it as well. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do probably like white roses and then pink flick on it. Will look good.
That'll look great.
Yeah.
When you're out in that garden, you have an audience.
You do.
They're all out there cheering you on when you're painting in the garden.
Yeah, definitely. And my cats come along as well, and they help.
Is there any distractions in your garden? I mean, do you have jets flying over? Or neighbors going, I hate roses?
Nobody hates roses.
No, I do have some nosy neighbors, but I have got a higher fence now, so they don't look in so much.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's quite nice to not be constantly like, oh, it's not finished, please don't look at it.
I have an art question or an artist question. So I know the weather changes in England. We've been there several times, and rainstorms can come up actually kind of quickly.
Yes.
So you pick up your easel and canvas and run indoors? Is that what happens?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, I actually had to do that. I think it was yesterday. And I had just finished my part-time job. I'd come back, tried to be in the garden for a few hours, and then it just started raining, and I had to grab the cat, grab all my paint, run it, and I was like, this is a nightmare.
Oh my goodness.
Let the cat take care of himself.
It's like herself. A fire drill. You have to grab everybody and run in.
Yeah, definitely.
All artists face blank canvases. We would like to know what you think about prior to laying down that first brush stroke or the colors. What goes on in your head, Ruth?
So on my notes on my phone, I do actually have a lot of sort of like color schemes, and I'll be like, oh, do this background with this color or this or something like that. But then sometimes I'm just there and I'm like, yeah, this color, that starts to look nice. And I'm like, oh, that does actually look good. And then I just carry it on. So it's either very well planned or completely just how I feel in the day with what colors I want to start using.
So you're doing it freeform? I mean, are you sketching something out for the composition?
No, always freeform. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, good for you.
See, that's really nice, because then it's really inspirational.
It's more spontaneous, and it's coming more from your soul, I think.
Yeah.
Rather than
it's how flowers are, isn't it? In nature, they just grow however, wherever. So I kind of just do that rather than straight lines. And
for some reason, like when we go out to the desert and there's all these cactus and rocks and different kinds of blooming flowers sometime during the season, it always amazes me how well it's landscaped. Flowers have a way of landscaping themselves incredibly well, or nature does, I should say, has an incredible way of creating the landscape. I mean, landscape artists can't do as good a job as nature does.
No, never.
No, they can't.
Never.
No.
But that's interesting that you approach your canvases by letting it respond to what the actual flowers want to do, as opposed to you telling them what to do.
Yeah, I kind of let them grow as they.
Oh, I like that.
They do.
Oh, you do. That's a good description. Because your paintings are like that. They just seem very organic. It doesn't seem forced and contrived. It's very, very joyful.
Oh, that's a good word.
Yeah, they are.
Very joyful.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, Ruth, do you ever see yourself applying your artistic skills to other ways of creativity, like sculpture or anything like that?
So I have tried doing some other stuff, but I just love painting. I just really, really love it. It's so therapeutic for me. Like if I'm really stressed, or if I'm feeling down, or even if I'm feeling like really, really happy, it just relaxes me somehow. It's just so amazing. Yeah, I have tried with other stuff, but it's just not for me personally, it's just not the same feeling that I get from painting. So
understand completely on that one.
Yeah.
You somehow just resonates with you, and you feel like you're hit your zone where you just want to continue.
Yes. Yeah, my zone. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I think I respect people that do different forms of art. You know, they're talented in one and they become talented in other areas. But it seems like to me anyway, the one thing that you're the best at, there's a reason for it. You obviously are best at what you're doing.
Truth.
So I wouldn't pick up a hammer and chisel if I were you.
No, I can't even hammer nails into the wall very well. So I think I will give that one a pass.
Every artist, you kind of touched on it, but every artist experiences anxiety, especially when they're starting to think about a work that they have just completed. They're sitting there looking at a beautiful piece of art. How do you handle that anxiety?
Well, when I first started, I actually just used to paint over the whole thing. I'd just be like, this is awful. I can't believe it. And then about a day, maybe 2 later, I'd be like, why did I do that? Like, it looked great.
Yeah.
So it would be really annoying. But now I'm kind of learning to just be like, right, take a step back, leave it for a few days, come back to it, see what you want to do. So yeah, really that. I mean, it's a stressful process, but it's worth it.
Well, that's the one nice thing about painting a little bit more on the abstract side, because you can push and pull your colors and change things, even if you're looking at it and you go, oh man, this is a mess. And then you go, you know what, if I pull this color back and push this one forward, give it a little bit of depth, and then all of a sudden you've got a pretty decent looking piece of work.
Yeah.
I do that quite often.
Oh, me too. Like, you keep working it, right?
Yeah. It's sometimes too much, but sometimes just enough. Yeah, it's fun.
That's the main thing, is not to take the fun out of it and getting too self-critical. And
yeah, exactly.
It's so hard though, because you want it, like you want to project a certain feel or certain colors, and then sometimes your hands and brain aren't responding the way you want to.
Yeah, they just don't want to work. Yeah,
right. So it's kind of hard to be like, step back, leave it alone for a while, and even a day or two, and then come back. And sometimes even if you step away for an hour, it seems like a whole different painting. You're not.
Yeah, it does, where it's dried a bit more, and you're like, oh, okay, right, that's fine. I can stop smudging that color in and layer it now. Yeah.
Right. It won't turn into mud as well when you let it dry.
Yeah.
Also, after you've done that a few times, it kind of builds your own self-confidence.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does, definitely, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely leave them more a lot than painting over them.
Well, the more you paint, the more self-confidence you have.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, speaking of confidence, though, I wanted to ask you about the fact that you're receiving a lot of accolades right now for your artwork.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. What has been your proudest moment so far?
Well, actually, I was really, really touched by someone contacted me for a commission. Mm-hmm. His girlfriend had bought a painting from me before, and then she always likes my stuff, gives me good comments and everything. Like, she just really loves my work. And he actually messaged me in secret and was like, oh, could you please do a painting for her? And he commissioned a painting for her birthday.
Oh.
And then I had to send it to his office so he could wrap it up there and everything. And then on her birthday, she just sent me one of the nicest messages ever, because she was just so happy with the painting. And she just absolutely loved it.
What a lovely idea, and what a lovely gift.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
personal.
I was really wow. Yeah. And it made me feel really good as well, because I was like, I can do something really special for someone's birthday. And that was incredible for me. I really, really loved it.
Oh, I could see that.
So if people want to impress their wives or girlfriends, they should contact you?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. Had an argument, just message me.
Yes. Yeah, don't buy real flowers. Buy ones that'll last forever, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
These last forever.
How bad have you messed up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Flowers are for a day. A painting is forever.
Yeah, exactly.
And then also, you've been featured in a couple of magazines. Tell us about that.
Yes. So they contacted me through my website, and they were doing art edits on both of the magazines. Mm-hmm. And they just said that they had been looking at my work for a while, and they thought that my work would really suit the type of art that they were having in the magazine for that month.
Yeah.
So, I think I was in an April and a May edition. So it was very kind of spring flowers and spring colours. So, yeah, that was really fun. And I was like, oh, wow, okay.
That's cool.
Great.
What magazine was this now?
So there was a House and Garden one, and then there was another one which it was called London Life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it got sent to the different boroughs. It would be kind of different states for you guys, I guess.
Okay. Right.
Sure.
Yeah. So for me, it was Mayfair Life, and then it was Kensington Life, Chelsea Life, stuff like that. I guess for you guys, it would be California Life or Florida Life or stuff like that.
Exactly.
Or like Los Angeles Magazine or Palm Springs Life, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's nice. Good for you.
Yeah, it was really lovely to just be approached by someone as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, it gives you self-confidence, and everybody loves to be appreciated for the hours, the sweat and tears you put out in the garden.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, for those who appreciate all the offerings in nature, I know I do. I know Angie does, and obviously you do, Ruth. In nature, you can see it, you can feel it, you can touch it, and you can hear it, the birds singing and all that. What is your favorite thought when it comes to nature?
Well, I guess we kind of touched it before, just the fact that it can grow anywhere and it can like change, like even where you said that they've planted the poppies on the freeway just to make it look nicer and make people like a bit happier. I just think that that's such an incredible thing. No one even does it. It just happens like outside your door. I just think that that's so amazing that just stepping outside your door or someone else's door or just going for a walk for like 10, 20 minutes and you can be in like a completely sort of different place. It's really great.
And for the most part, it's free.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we live in the mountains and we have 4 seasons up here, and we see the changes with the deciduous trees and various flowers and weeds that are colorful pop up from time to time. But it's always interesting to see the changes of the seasons, especially fall. Fall in the mountains is especially nice because of all the oak trees.
Oh, yeah, I bet that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm thinking about your floral painting still. So I'm going to ask you about that. It's interesting to me about floral paintings is like yours is very meditative and impart a happy energy to someone's home. What are your thoughts about that? Like, how do you feel when somebody's purchased your art and you know you've put in all this joy and all this really good energy into the painting, and what do you think when they buy it? Are you like, what are your thoughts?
After I do my happy dance, it's just amazing. I mean, just the kind of what you're doing is sort of like good enough that someone actually wants to see it in their home or wherever for like every day for life and everything. It's just so nice. Honestly, it's the best feeling.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, because all I want is literally for people to like look at them and it make them happy. Because so every painting that I do has my signature and then my nan and granddad's signature. Not signature, their initials with my signature.
How sweet.
Yeah, so it's kind of like whenever I do a painting, that goes there, and then it's kind of like their flowers, I guess, making people as happy as they like would make them and me and everything. So
what a lovely thought! Thank you for sharing that, Ruth. Because that's
nice,
that's
sweet.
Really special, and it's what's the word?
Yeah, homage
to them.
Yes,
I think that's really quite beautiful.
Yeah,
flowers are very popular to have in your home, and paintings of flowers are extremely popular. And especially if they're very colorful, or they may be flowers that remind them of some trip they took, or some restaurant, or some event in their life. So when you decorate your home with flowers on the wall, they're there forever, and as long as you can walk by them and get inspiration. Has anybody ever said, "Oh, when I look at your painting, this is what comes to my mind"? Have you ever heard that?
Not in so many words, I guess, but.
So do you want? Want us to tell you one?
Yeah, that would be great.
No, I'll tell you what. I think that if you look at, like on Instagram, or even you go to museums or galleries, whatever, there's a lot of art in this world. And some of the art is, for lack of a better term, kind of disgusting. It doesn't elevate men and women. It just doesn't elevate our lives. It doesn't give us feelings of happiness or joy or love. A lot of it is kind of antagonistic. And the nice thing, I mean, the one thing Angie and I respect about you, and one of the reasons why we're happy to have you on this podcast, is what you paint makes people feel good. It doesn't make them have to question themselves or, or some other, there's no subliminal motive there. It just makes people feel good. And I think, if I may say this, I think your grandparents had a lot to do with instilling that in you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Well, then, where do you see yourself in 2 years?
I'm hoping in 2 years that I will be doing this full time. So at the moment, I just do 3 days in a coffee shop.
Right.
Keep the income kind of regular sort of thing.
Right.
But yeah, definitely 2 years, 100%, no doubt in my mind. I'm going to be doing this full time, just something that I love to do, that I just enjoy. It's the life for me, basically.
But I can see you doing that. I think, in 2 years, I think you're going to be well on your way because you're already, really right in the starting position of just launching yourself. So really,
yes.
I think you're right there.
Yeah, plus what you're creating is popular. I mean, people love, that doesn't go out of style.
Never.
Lots of different kinds of art definitely go out of style, but florals, they have longevity. They've through the centuries, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is very true.
Well, that's going to lead me to my question, which is name 3 things you hope to achieve or accomplish in the next year.
I have my first fair stall, which is a month today. So hopefully I sell out of that and I continue doing stalls because I just think that would be really fun. Like, I'm so excited to do that.
Right.
And I would love to have another exhibition because I had one it was like a theatre gallery near where I live. And to see like all of my paintings just like grouped together.
Oh, yeah.
It was so amazing because where they were just like, I just paint them and it was like one at a time. It was really like something special to see them all together. I was like, oh wow, this is all me. That's great.
That's a great feeling for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a tough question. In less than 5 words, what would you tell people that want to live more creatively?
Honestly, just do it. It's so worth it in the end. It's just a complete, like, it's your whole zone. You can just do whatever you want in it, have so much fun with it, like if you want to, or just do it. It's great. More people should.
That's good
definitely.
advice. That's good advice.
That's accurate advice.
Yeah, don't procrastinate. Just do it.
Yeah. Even if it's just like a little doodle here and there or something, like I still think that that's creative in itself, and you can do it wherever.
Well, on our podcast, we encourage people to be creative and live their best creative life and do any. I mean, even if it's baking a great cake, we consider that to be super creative.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you the question we ask all of our guests. And if you could sit on a park bench and chat with anyone from the past, who would it be? It
will probably be Monet. Just because I absolutely love all of his paintings that he's done. Just any, like the water lilies and everything. Mm-hmm. I'd just be like, how did you do that? Why does it look so good?
That's a good answer because that would be really cool to see him and talk with him.
Yeah, and he would show you his favorite tube of lavender paint.
Probably.
Purple and lavender. Yeah. That's how he got those shadows. And mix a little green in with it to get that shadow. Yeah. I think we're rounding this up. Yeah. And Ruth, I really want to thank you for being our guest today and you sharing a little bit about your life as a painter of flowers.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. And also, we'd like to let our listeners know, if you want to know more about Ruth, we will have links for her under the show guest tab on thoughtrowpodcast.com so everyone can learn more about her. And please connect with her on social media and check out our website.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. And I hope to speak to you guys soon.
No, you shall. All right. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you. You're a great guest. We really appreciate your chatting.
Thank you.
Okay. Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Ruth.
Okay. Bye.
I'm really glad you tuned in today. We hope you enjoyed the thoughts and ideas we shared with you.
We post a new podcast every week, so remember to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss an episode. So it's bye for now from my husband Rod and I, wishing everyone a great day.